Hello everyone, myself Assistant Professor Vatsal Patel from Civil Engineering Department working at Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center Navsari. Today we are going to discuss about technical communication. So our today's topic is negotiation skills. So let us see planning and preparation for it. So if we talk about towards agreement, both teams try to arrive at joint interest. If we talk about independent advantage, each team aims to get best deal. And if we talk about conflict, a team aims to win and make the other team lose. So what is the meaning of negotiation? So let us understand it. Negotiation is a process of communication in which the parties involved in to send a message to the another side or say other side and influence each other. Back and forth communication to reach agreement where some interests are shared and some interests are opposed, like getting to yes to achieve the expected results. The negotiations are to be made. A structured approach to negotiation may work better. So let us understand it with one example. Suppose you are a candidate and you are giving a job interview. So you tell the company that your present salary is 25,000 and you have offer of 30,000 from another one company, and if you provide me 35,000 I am ready to work with you. So the interviewer reply you that we can provide you 33,000 only. So then you are ready to work with them. So it is considered as good bargaining, not negotiation. If we talk about negotiation, let us understand it with next day what happened and then see what is the difference between bargaining and negotiation. So you are ready to work at the company with salary of 33,000. Next day you know that job timing is 12 hour, no overtime will be provided, no traveling allowance will be provided. So it is difficult to survive. So on your day what you aim for? Only salary. Okay, you not see other aspects like timing, okay, traveling allowance, which are the main aspects. Okay, so you are a good bargainer, not have good negotiation skill. So to negotiate, it is main thing is that you should consider all the aspect related to it. So let us see stages in negotiation. So it includes stages like preparation. So if we talk about it, at this stage you are to decide the time and venue of the discussion, like for negotiation to take place in a formal setting. One has to know the specific rules of the organization so that he or she is well aware of the points to be raised and arguments to be followed. Next is discussion. This is the stage from where the real negotiation would start. Both the parties involved can raise their points at this stage and clarify the doubts. They can also produce the evidences. Both the parties should have equal amount of opportunities to have their say. Next is clarifying goals. So during the discussion, the parties involved should clarify the objectives, interests, and intentions. They should also try to clarify the disagreement. Lack of clarity could lead to misunderstanding that can cause problems and hindrances in communication. Next is negotiate towards a win-win outcome. So, win-win outcome means the parties involved should have the feeling that everyone has gained something positively through the process of negotiation and they had equal stake in taking final decision. If something is to be lost, both the parties should have lost equally. Next is agreement. This is the stage where all the differences are sorted and both the parties give their consent into the decision. Both should have a feeling that they are listened to and taken into the consideration in a justified way. And the last one is implementation. Once agreed upon the course of action, the implementation of the decision is to be carried through. Here, the negotiation is to be materialized. So, sometimes, even after investing a considerable time and energy into the discussion, the consensus is not achieved and decisions are not taken. If the process of negotiation fails to bring about an agreement, postponing meetings become essential. It may happen that at single sitting no mutual agreement can be achieved and there might be some verbal clashes between both the parties during the rescheduling another meeting would give both the parties time to ponder over the issue and better agreement can be achieved then. So next let us see. According to Kenneth W. Thompson, there are 5 styles in which negotiation can be practiced. So the first one is accommodating. So accommodating style is the style where the individuals are more interested in sorting the other's problem out. They are more into cherishing personal relationships. This type of style is the soft bargaining style. Such negotiators would scramble their self interest to the interest of others. They generally let their own wishes go. They would always show their readiness to reach to an agreement. Next one is avoiding. This style refers to the people who are, unless forced, not interested in negotiation. They would leg the matter and finally, if things would not be there in their control, have to negotiate. They are rigid and lazy in their approach towards a problem. Next is collaborating. Such individuals are very much interested in bringing about solutions to the problems in innovative ways. Collaborators would always tend to keep the interest and concerns of other party in consideration. Their negotiations are always balanced. They would always believe in win-win situation. They are more inclined towards ethical solutions to the problem and most of the time do not use power. They are ethical, unbiased, fair and professional. Next is competing. Such negotiators have an instinct of winning the game. They are always strategic and their approach is more practical and opportunistic. They are power prone and can pressurize others to negotiate. They would defeat the others for the sake of winning themselves. And the last one is compromising. Such individuals have asked to bring about the solution to the problem. They would generally put an end to the discussion by making the involved parties agreed. Many a times the parties involved have to lose as the process is ended up quickly and dissatisfaction may prevail. So next let us see types of negotiation. So there are two types of negotiation. First one is distributive. So the term distributive refers to give out. In business, there is always limited amount of resources and this is to be divided among the stakeholders. So everyone involved has to gain less and that's to vary in proportion. There are generally no pre-existing relationships prevail. Everyone is interested in his or her own serving. The day-to-day negotiation we make fall under this category. For example, negotiation made while purchasing a car. Second one is integrative. Integrative negotiation is the type that represent win-win situation. This type of negotiation can be more complex and always team based. The word integrative refers to join several parts into a whole. It requires cooperation to achieve something together as a team. It generally involves having trust over each other and into relationship. This type is based on value, not physical gain. Ideally, this means each individual get what he or she wants in the business situation. These days, cooperation from both parties is expected and creative problem solving is of much importance. Generally, integrative approach helps the generation of relationships that has future and extend in long run. So let us see success in negotiation. So how to give way to integrative negotiations? So to negotiate successfully, one has to decide what one need to succeed means decide the objectives before getting into discussion. So let us see step by step procedure of it. So first one is prepare. After figuring out your objectives, list out your strength and other parties' weaknesses. Collect as much information as you can about the other party into discussion. Next is strategize. Strategize. Into discussion, start strongly and reasonably. If you are negotiating salary, don't just say a number for the sake of telling. Anticipate the other party's reaction. For that, collect the information from the market about the current salary structure and the brand of the company, what the company offers. Have your own justification ready before putting across your demand. Next is non-verbal aspects or say study. So in the face-to-face negotiation, study the non-verbal components of the message pass on by the other party. If the other party is interested in extending the negotiation, positive signs like nodding of head and maintaining the eye contact would be there. Whereas if they are not interested, they would hide the eyes and make the gestures to say no. The tone of the other party would also give idea about the internal intensity of the interest they are having. Next, find your strength and utilize it. Find out what good you have to offer and represent it in a bombastic way. Focus on other party's weaknesses and try to exploit it to its fullest. For some of the monopoly marketers, negotiation work always end up in their favor. Whereas if one is representing the brand or product which enjoys more proportionate supply, one has to fall down in negotiation. Next, making the offer. An offer is not just a transaction to take place or just a give and take relation, but it encompasses developing formal relationships too. One has to be specific in sending an offer document. This document should contain offer price, statement of work with scope, identifying the quantities of goods or services, delivery period, guarantees or warranties if any, terms and conditions of the payment, etc. Next is opt for win-win alternative. So during negotiations, always seek to have an alternative that includes gain of both the parties involved. Both the negotiators should focus on having mutual benefit that integrates their interest into an agreement. For this, try to understand the concern from other parties' point of view too. So, positive attitudes towards satisfying some of the other parties' priorities too. This will help in having good relations and impression that extends relationship especially when one is into business. And last one is interpersonal and intercultural skills. So pay full attention to language and cultural connection of the other negotiator. Use your own interpersonal skills truly to influence success in negotiation. So let's see what negotiation skills include. So first of all we will see purpose of it. So purpose of negotiation is two types: exploratory like possible area of interest and conciliatory resolving differences. Aim for the targets like scale your targets according 1 to 10. Decide realistic maximum and minimum acceptable scores. Next, practice about facts and figures like prepare statistical data, known facts, prepare visual. Next, possible concessions. Plan your bargaining strategy. List essential conditions like impossible to concede. List possible concessions. Next, try to know strength and weakness like list your bargaining strength, know your possible weakness, calculate your bargaining position. Next, opening statement. It is the main one like state general objectives, state priorities, state independent not joint objectives, and be brief. So let us see example of general type of negotiations. So making an opening statement like welcome to, and in case of first meeting we see this as a preparatory meeting. One of the series of meetings like following previous meetings we have agreed on some important issue. Today we have to think about like this. Okay. Next, starting aims and objectives. So you can use the words like may I outline our main aims and objectives today. Next, starting set aims and objectives like together we want to develop a good relationship. And handling over like I would like to hand you over to my colleague. So let us see various concession rules. So ask for concessions. All concessions are confidential. Conditions first is if this happen then I will do this. Okay, like that. It is a package. Give what's cheap to you and valuable to them. It is very important. Okay, so make sure you include it. Next, during the negotiation, main speaker and supporting speaker is the main one. So try to understand the conversation and act according to it. So let us see various examples. So if we talk about bargaining, then it will include the terms like if you could, we could consider like this. Like in case of accepting, we agree. If we talk about confirming, can we run through, we have agreed on. Summarizing, like can we summarize the proposal in a few words? Looking ahead, like so the next step is next dealing with conflicts. Like I think we should look at the points we agree on. And if we talk about rejecting, I don't think it would be sensible for us to sorry. Okay, so you can use lines like this and you can also know the meaning of it by this. Next, ending negotiations, like so can we summarize the progress we have made? Breaking of negotiation, it's a pity we couldn't reach agreement this time. Next, dealing with conflicts shows your understanding of the other side position. Highlight advantages of agreement. So don't do this like be characteristic, attack, criticize, threaten, blame. Do ask questions, listen, summarize, build on common ground, explain your feelings. Next we will next we will see critical and creative thinking in communication. So critical thinking is the active, persistent and careful consideration of beliefs or knowledge, keeping in view the available evidence. It is a self reflective process that involves elements of conceptualization, reasoning, analysis, interpretation, and evaluation of the available information upon which judgment is based. So let us understand meaning of critical and creative thinking. To be a successful professionalism, processing critical thinking and creative thinking is a must. These skills are considered to be higher order skill and must at the senior level of a job. Like true if there is it helps the junior level employee out to perform better and thus in their career faster. Creative thinking means conceiving the new and practical ideas, whereas critical thinking means thinking about enforcing the situation in advance in the light of available resources and prospective problems. Both these skills are essential to boost one's career and would in a way help the societies to develop. Creating new ideas would always give way to critically think about the practicality of its implementation. So, most of the times they are interdependent on each other, still, they can be separately applied. So, it includes the skills like making careful observations, being inquisitive and asking relevant questions, challenging the beliefs, examining assumptions, and probing options which may even be against already established facts. Recognizing the problems and issues that may appear in future. Assessing the validity of statements and understanding the logic and strength of argument given, making workable decision and finding valid solution. So if we talk about critical thinking is a skill that helps one out to take decisions in the moment of crisis. Critical thinking involves analyzing the availability of practical resources and it does also help in utilizing the available resources at the optimum level. Conceptualizing or rationalizing the idea using analytical skills that prerequisites of critical thinking are curiosity, perfection, open-mindedness, analytical skills, judgmental skills, practical insights, reasoning ability, and being calm. So, to be a critical thinker, one needs to be inquisitive, judicious, systematic, truth speaking, analytical, confident in reasoning, and open minded. So, if we talk about this, the critical thinkers are generally curious and impractical at the same time. While encountering the problem, a critical thinker would not panic and think in an ordinary way. He rather tries to find out solutions in a more innovative ways, the ways that have never been tried before. The critical thinkers would perceive the problem as opportunities and contribute in finding out solution in a practical way. In organizations where cost cutting abilities are crucially required, such critical thinkers can contribute their best to advance into their career. So the objectives of critical thinking are to find out normal ways to bring out solution to a problem, to utilize the available resources at optimum level, to anticipate the problems and likely solutions, assessing the problems logically, and presenting some process leading to solution, to decide among the available alternative. So next we will talk about creative thinking in communication. Creative thinking is the generation of the new ideas within or across domains of knowledge. It requires preparation, incubation, insight, evaluation, elaboration, and communication. One must try to put aside the common assumptions, look beyond the conditioning that creates stereotypes, prejudice, and paralogical thinking to develop creative thinking. So, if we talk about creative thinking means the generation of new ideas in the area of one profession. It essentially involves the process of imagination, illumination, conception, assessment, and communication. We need to think out of the box by keeping aside all the prejudices and limitation. It includes to have an insight into what is expected and to commit oneself in a dedicated way. Furthermore, the pre-convince what is never thought of earlier based on existing ideas. So the objectives of creative thinking are to think and conceive the advanced idea in a logical way, to offer in advanced future what is already existed, imagine things from different dimensions, to improve the standard of living of society. So few basic principles for including creative thinking are: be open to new thoughts, ideas and facts. Keep your reading and listening faculty actively engaged in observation. Regard the difficulty or a problem as an opportunity. Regard the difficulty or problem as an opportunity. Enjoy the process of trying, learning, and evolving, avoiding jumping to the conclusions, follow deferred judgments. Believe in cross fertilization of ideas and be your worst critic. Okay, so the prerequisites of creative thinking are imaginative ability, open mindedness, observation skills, seeking opportunity by looking at the things from various angles, anticipation of needs, readiness to try something new, analytical skills, furthering the existing ideas, and being critical of one's self. So, in this way, if one works upon and tries to develop creative and critical skills, this will definitely help the individual to grow. Not only the individuals get benefited, but it does also help the organizations to succeed. While communicating with this higher order skill will help the individual make interesting and effective speeches. So here I end my session. Thank you all of you.